This was back in the last Depression. They had 10 kids, French family. Everybody had large families back then. And my grandfather was an alcoholic and a gambler. But they were more of the wealthier ones because they had access to food when food was being rationed, because they owned a butcher shop. And that the way they think that they were a hero is because they were able to sell food on the black market. They thought that they were able to give more food to the needy, but actually all they did was give more food to the wealthy, taking away from the poor. Um, so he was a man that there was obviously sexual abuse in that family someplace, because my father always had sexual issues. And he gambled the house away. Um, he did a lot of really mean things. Died when I was very young, so I don't really know too much past that. But I've just seen my own father's habits where he didn't value women. He was the oldest of, I think, 8 girls in that family, and the youngest was a boy. So he was the oldest, so he was the one that was financially supporting all of these girls. So he grew up with this hate for women. He thinks that women are useless, wasteless, are responsible for every social problem on the planet. He believes a woman cannot be raped. I was raped. He taught me. I lived for years thinking it was my fault. These people really fuck up your mind, these psychopaths. But he had 2 daughters, then a son. And how they train these patterns of abuse is, in my situation, the son was glorified. So as long as the son did everything the father said, he was rewarded financially. If the girls didn't comply, then they, were the social problem. He ensured that his daughters lived in poverty. He would destroy them emotionally. I've had broken bones. If you had a problem, he'd be there telling you how horrible a person you are, instead of helping you, instead of building you up, or any of that nonsense. No, if you ever had a downtime in your life, this would be the man that would bring you down even more and make you feel more worthless, so that you can't even pull yourself out. So when we believe there are networks out there to help women leave abuse, that's not true at all. There is no network. That's all a big lie. We have women's shelters everywhere. Why? Because this is a big, massive problem. We think that there are solutions out there, but I'm here to say that I am totally against all nonprofits, because there's an awful lot of people earning very good livings not solving anything. They are doing everything to sustain the problem and not actually solve it. They are not giving me information to solve shit, which is why I have some beefs right now. And I feel responsible for anybody else that is going to experience the same lifestyle as I have. The wealthy are the ones that, if you do something wrong, you get rewarded for it. These are people that are, believe in God and religious. They all have this ego that makes them think that they're right about something. Meanwhile, their actions are very, very harmful to other people. So, how do you even get these people medical help? Lots of them are doctors. Even when I went in to see counseling, most of the time it's a venting process of accept that this is just the way it is, that life is not fair. Don't participate in any changes, just do your best doing with the way things work. So basically any form of counseling basically programs you to participate in the structure and system of everything that's wrong. They couldn't solve their problems, so they're pushing it on to anybody else that's suffering, that, hey, there's nothing you can do about it. You need to accept that this is life. Push on, move on, totally disengaged from family. And it's like, that is, the system is designed to break a family up, not solve any family problems, but to break it up. We see children that are being totally abused, and we think kids are resilient. No, they're not. They're not getting any help, and they're forming belief structures that, either goes into the psychopath or the victim. Now we're seeing it globally. You are either the victim of the guy at the guy causing all the trouble. So that is where our medical systems need to change. Is we need to be able to look at what is the cause of all problems. Now, I'm not saying that even my father, as evil as he is, and my brother right now, who I believe is a total psychopath, and in care of my mother, who has Alzheimer's, which I'm very worried about, but there's not a damn thing I can do, because you can only protect people if you have money, and they make sure that they have money, so you're not protected. So I kind of need to be heard to keep people who need to be protected actually protected. You can see this even with the police. You're the 99%. You're peaceful, yet the police are the ones that are being violent. The police that I've gone to see are the ones that are protecting the abuser. The judges that I've seen are there to protect the abuser. Every aspect of this system, the justice system, medical system, economic, political, education, everything sustained everything that was wrong. If you want to go to school and learn how to screw up a planet and get an education, they'll teach you basically how to be a psychopath. Because the way our thinking is that you need to be successful, you need to be disciplined and be successful to the point where, that's all life is about, is that almighty dollar, and we don't really give a shit about anybody else on the planet. It's all about how big your bank account is. The only way that I would have ever been accepted by my father is if I made money. So that's where I tried to make money all my life, just to gain my father's approval, but pretty sure I woke up to the concept that great wealth causes poverty. And that is something that I've said on another video that wasn't too clear in sound, so I want to say it again in this video. That if there were 10 people on the planet, and each one of them had $1, and then we played this Monopoly game, because that's all it is it's a game of Monopoly. You've enjoyed the game while you were playing Boardwalk, and now that one person is owning Boardwalk and Park Place, the game is over. So if this guy ends up with all of the money and nobody has anything else, who caused poverty? The guy at the top. So those are things within, we're looking at capitalism. There's so many projects out there right now that I've had a look at. The Venus Project is one of them. I would never ever support that. There's so many problems within that system. They're onto a few good things, but as a whole, I'm not really in support of it. I'm also a big fan of holodynamics. I think everybody on the planet needs to learn this new science. It claims to be a tool that can solve every problem known to the human experience. He has been healing cancer, AIDS, mental illness, and addictions for over 20 years using the concept cure the cause, and the body has a way of healing. And this is done without a pill. So the doctor himself, though, I think is a little insane. Why? Because he's, friggin' a genius, but can't admit he's wrong about something. He's not open to anybody's idea but his. So he's got really good information. He's got this tool that he's claiming is a tool that can solve every problem known to the human experience, which is an excellent tool, but you can't identify the unknown problem, which is things you complain about or make excuses for. So it's, if you read his books, he's got lots of things he complains about and hasn't solved it. For one, if he wrote a book 20 years ago about solving all of these problems, why isn't it a bestseller? If I wrote a book, I'd see it a bit as a problem that it's not a bestseller. And, frankly, we wouldn't be here today if he actually solved his own unknown problem. Because I think it's the most brilliant thing on the planet. But you have to understand the unknown problem, which is, if you're making a complaint or an excuse, you need to use that tool to solve your problem. If everybody on the planet, the 99% of us, have a problem, then 99% are participants of the solution. And one thing that I may be all disjointed in my conversation. Father just died, had a few upsets, but I really want to put this video out here. And I'm tending to forget some things that I want to say. One thing that I'm loving about this protest is the fact there are no leaders, and I don't want to be a leader of anything, just a leader of myself and what it is that I know and what I'd love to share. And I am totally open to being wrong, so I'd really, really love the debate. I think what we need to really realize is that when every one of us has to live our fullest potential, that means you need to find your purpose in life. Part of an improved medical system means you need to love your life. Right now, every one of us are hating life, and as long as we live in hate, we'll never ever find any solutions. So I'm loving the idea that these protests are so full with love, because they're accessing truthful information. If you were angry and focused on things that you hated through anger, the solutions will unfold, and they won't be a solution. It'll appear like a solution, but it'll be wrong information because you're accessing it through a source of hate. So I'm loving the idea that it's a source of love, and no doubt we're going to find our solution. It's like, I feel like I don't really have to do much, because humanity in itself is healing itself, and just go with the flow at this point. I do see things crashing because you are stopping Wall Street. If you're going to get world peace and you're going to change all of these systems and you ain't going to stop and it's going to grow, Wall Street will stop. And that's how we're processing our food. All of our food is getting delivered that way. That's how our transportation, that's how everything we need to survive is on Wall Street. So there is a potential to see a bit of suffering that can be prevented. Because what happens with us is we either see the glass half full or half empty. And while we are, participating in this Occupy Wall Street and feeling the love of it, you may not feel you are in the solution already. You may be seeing the solution outside of yourself. So you're still in time waiting to get there. That's what time is the distance between you realizing going from a problem to a solution. So if we could change how we're perceiving everything, everything can be changed instantly. It's 100th monkey concept, and people aren't really seeing it, but the world has already changed. It's not, we need to wait for an election or somebody to come up with a policy, or, these guys have had their chance. They've let you know who they are. Fool you once, fool you twice, fool you 3 times. You're a fucking idiot if you think the people that never listened to you before are somehow going to listen to you now. If you think in some way, shape, or form insane people finally gain sanity, you're insane. You're crazy if you're constantly waiting for somebody else to solve your problems. You're crazy if you're waiting for God to show up to save you. You're crazy if you're waiting for an alien to come and save you. It is like this micro-macro, okay, that you are here, and it's like looking for the bigness of self to save self. And it's like, no, you got to look at it's you.